What's the personality type of Tom Holland? In today's video, we're gonna try and figure that out.
I actually forgot I was coming here. The morning of, Mike, my agent was like, hey man, are you ready? No. Where am I going? And I thought this was next week. So I literally have the clothes on my back and my passport.
So right off the bat, one thing that most people can piece together is Tom's quite the spontaneous, flexible guy. Not even knowing that the event was that day and being able to sort of laugh about that mistake, sort of adapt to it, shrug it off without getting super freaked out, overwhelmed, and anxious. On the spectrum of things, Tom definitely doesn't seem like he likes overly preparing and planning out every little thing in his personal life. He definitely seems like he's super go with the flow, which is already a big clue about his personality type.
There was like some time where they dangled my poor stunt double under a helicopter and dunked him in a lake. Damn it. This is live, isn't it? Damn. So at one point, Spider-Man ends up in a lake. I'm gonna get in so much trouble now. Oh no! But yeah, and I was like, let me do it. And then when I saw him do it and get dunked in the lake, I'm so happy I let him do that one because that was the scariest thing I've ever seen. Can you imagine? Flying under a helicopter and being dunked in the lake. I mean, I don't get paid enough for that shit. Sorry, again.
Here, again, we see him accidentally messing things up, and he's rolling with it. He knows he's sort of in trouble, but he keeps talking about things. He keeps sharing his thoughts about things. Some personality types have a very strong personal filter on things. They're overthinking, sort of double-checking every single thing they blurt out or even think. They're like, does this make sense? Is this the exact right thing I want to say that I really mean? Tom here doesn't show any signals that he's overthinking, over-filtering what he says, how he acts, what directions he explores. He's a little more loose with things, comfortable playing around with the possibilities without making things too serious or too personal.
You ain't gotta be sexual, but like,
why not?
well, it can
Who
be.
wants to go on a date with someone?
Let's name a few. You got
sexually?
Selena Gomez, Taylor.
Selena Gomez is good. I think Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande. Get
Yeah,
that.
man.
I can
Yes.
see that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see that?
And I feel like Tom approaches girls.
Yeah, always, yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't feel like he's shy. I feel like Tom got a little game on him.
I try my best, you know?
Yeah.
I don't always work, but I try my best.
Shoot and shoot, Tom. I feel it.
You ever been rejected?
Loads of times.
Again, here we can see how he's quite open, more on the socially extroverted side. Also notice when asked about which celebrity he might want to go on a date with, he's comfortable sort of throwing out an idea, an answer, a response, and rolling with it, playing with it, having fun with it. So far the clues are definitely pointing in the direction of Tom being one of the 4 EP personality types that are strikingly a lot more open, flexible, and spontaneous than other personality types.
We could do a musical together. We could do a Broadway show.
He's really funny. I was talking to him the other day about the idea for a TV show where he would teach me to be a comedian, and he was like, no, Sam. I think that would be really fun. But
Now, in terms of what type of exploring, engaging the outside world Tom is naturally drawn to, I started seeing some hints of extroverted intuition. Extroverted intuition is a way of taking in information that really likes to make new connections, explore possibilities, consider what ifs in a very fast, expansive, and open way. You know that feeling you have when you discover something completely new and it suddenly makes you think about all these new possibilities. It suddenly starts getting you brainstorming or thinking way outside the box. Ooh, this is a really cool idea. Wouldn't it be funny if this and this were connected? Wait, now that I'm seeing this, think about all the interesting random possibilities. There's certain personality types that go to that headspace, see the world in that specific way a lot more and more often than other personality types. That's what extroverted intuition, this personality superpower that shows up a lot with all the NP personality types, is trying to talk about, trying to describe.
It was disgusting. I'll never do it again. It was a mistake. I spent 3 days on the toilet. Let's just put it that way. It was literally the worst 3 days of my life.
so I'm wearing big fluffy coats and jumpers and all sorts of stuff. We shot that on the hottest day in English history.
One funny thing that often pops up with extroverted intuitives is a little bit of exaggeration, sort of a dramatizing things pops up in the way they talk about things, the way they see things. That was legitimately one of the craziest, most intense experiences of my life. No movie has ever made me cry, made me be so scared as that movie. The reason this pattern often pops up with extroverted intuitives, it's not because they're trying to mislead you. It's not like they're trying to lie. It's more that they're really excited to share with other people the idea of things. Remember, extroverted intuition, it's a way of seeing the world. It's an abstract way of looking at things. So in casual talking, what these personality types naturally jump to talk about, it's not usually the grounded, detailed specifics of things. It's much more often, what did this thing make me think about? What was surprising? What was cool? What was crazy? What was meaningful about that thing?
Because you're doing flips and dangerous stuff, it just feels so much more like, oh wow, like, because today I did a first move for the first time. It felt really cool, like when you do it for the first time, you're so happy, like, yes, come on. But like, you have moments where like, you just look out at the audience, you're like, whoa. Then you see some people crying in the letter scene, and then you see people laughing their heads off, and it makes you feel proper happy.
The second major thing that shows up a lot watching Tom Holland is the strong signal of his personal feelings, personal authenticity, individuality. This is a clue for a personality superpower called introverted feeling. Basically, there are certain personality types that naturally like checking in all the time with what feels right to them, what feels authentic to them. They like syncing up their behavior with their own individual personal values, what they individually want to express. This is where that spark in his eye, that sincerity, that earnestness bubbles up and splashes out from.
But everyone in the audience sort of was like, no, wait. And you can feel that atmosphere in a room like that. And I'm speechless. I really am speechless.
This song is making me feel very happy. Oh, I'm tired.
Tom, you can see, doesn't like adjusting his personality, turning down the signal of his feelings to fit in or blend in a little bit better. He likes turning that signal up. Introverted feelers, so all the FP personality types, have this side of them that really loves taking off the mask to show a more real, more authentic, a more raw version of themselves. This comes from how often, how naturally they check in, align things with their own individual personal feelings.
Everyone who is an actor always says really arty things. They'll say like, oh, I remember sitting down with my dad when I was 4 and Cape Fear was my favourite film. I'm just not that type of person.
It's been so rewarding to be a part of something that's bigger than being a fucking actor and pretending to be a superhero.
Which character are you most similar to in real life?
Peter Parker has this impossible need to impress people. And sometimes that's a great thing and sometimes it's a really bad thing, because I get really stressed that I've upset people all the time. And it can be as simple as someone comes in, I go, morning, and they're like, morning. And I'm like, oh no, what have I done?
Oh no, they're upset. That's making me feel a little weird. What did I do? Do you see here how when other people are reacting negatively, his instinct is to check in with himself. His own personal feelings show up in the equation. One thing that's interesting about how introverted feelers take care of other people, are motivated to make other people feel good, is that it always has to come from a very internal, personal place. Tom is very charming. He likes making other people feel good. He does have a strong conscientious side, but you might notice all that external caring for other people, balancing them out, it's actually all fueled by his inner personal feeling. If I were them, this is how I would want to be seen and treated. It makes me feel really happy to say things in this way. It's really meaningful to me to care for this other person, to see them in this way. An interesting quirk of introverted feeling is that these personality types actually have to think about themselves, actually have to check in with themselves, their own personal feelings, in order for that outward conscientious behavior to show up, to feel authentic, to make sense to them. Some of you might be thinking, isn't that how everyone is? And the answer is actually no. That's what's so awesome, fun about learning about this personality type stuff. We all look at things, sort of go about things in slightly different ways.
Sometimes that can be a really bad thing, but then also it equally can be a great thing, because it gives me the motivation to work really hard and to push myself and to make sure that I am impressing people.
To make sure that I am impressing people. I should do this. I need to make sure I step up to the plate to get this done. That's sort of an interesting way of putting things. On the surface, it's easy to only see the super animated, expressive, emotional version of Tom Holland that can't keep a secret, that's always hopping around from idea to idea. The thing is though, if you ever look beneath the surface, Tom's personality type actually has this much more serious, responsible, pragmatic side to it that I think a lot of people overlook or dismiss. You see, no matter which personality type you are, every personality type actually has an emotional and logical side that pops up in different contexts, in different situations. In Tom's case, his logical side is a personality superpower called extroverted thinking. Extroverted thinking is a logical decision-making style that likes to take a step back, look at the bigger picture, and unemotionally figure out, prioritize, manage what will get the job done.
I'd seen people do it. I think I saw Chris Pratt do it, and I went, you know what, that's something that I should do. I think that would be a really good thing to do. So I asked Sony if I could borrow the suit. They said, of course. We took the suit, we went to the children's hospital, we visited the kids, and from the first time I did it, I saw what an immediate impact it had on these kids. It was like, if I'm not doing anything, then that's something I should be doing. So something I just do every now and then. I enjoy it. It's pretty easy. I mean, I just go into London and someone brings the suit and I put it on and then walk around and say hello to people. I mean, it's not, everyone's always like, oh my God, you're so amazing, but excuse me, I shouldn't have said that.
Extroverted thinking is really good at taking a step back and looking at things in a sort of task-oriented way, goal-oriented way. If I do this, 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 and this, I'll get these results. I'll see this impact. I have the time. I probably should be doing this, so I should make this happen, execute on this, get this done. It's really interesting, powerful how Tom's introverted feeling and extroverted thinking work together, sort of interact with each other. He has this heart-driven, emotional, expressive side, but also this more serious, responsible, task-oriented side that's hiding beneath the surface and a very underrated, important part of his personality. Contrary to the stereotypes, Tom's personality type isn't just a bucket full of emotions. If you actually get to know them, you'll see they actually have this side of them that can get quite locked in on their work, on their duties, on their responsibilities. That likes getting more pragmatic, executing on things, and grinding things out.
What do you take away from this experience as a whole?
Wow, there's too many to account for, to be honest. I guess the people I've met and worked with, the things that I got to learn, and most importantly, the friends I've made. I mean, I've made friends that I will keep forever. And I think the lucky thing for me is that I will always have this film. It's always going to be a fantastic reminder of the experiences that I've had. So I'm always going to be able to fall back on this and say I had this amazing experience and I learned this and I've met these amazing people. So I can't believe how lucky I am.
The final major pattern I noticed watching Tom Holland were some strong signals of introverted sensing. Did you see how he anchored his thoughts and feelings into very concrete bullet points? What was meaningful? The people I met, the things I learned, and the friends I made. And then he expands on those things. Also, did you notice how he talks about his movies as these special time capsules he can fall back on, reminisce on, think back to? Introverted sensing is a different style of taking in information that really likes to connect the dots, make things more specific, clear, grounded, and anchored. The way introverted sensing in particular likes making things clear is by looking back on things, referencing back to things. They love thinking in this way that goes, hey, what I'm seeing now, how is this connected to something else I've seen before that was meaningful or interesting to me before?
And just think about, oh, I remember when we were doing that because that's when so-and-so fell over, or that's when this went wrong. And so, yeah, my favorite thing about my job is that at the end of every job, I get this perfect little scrapbook that I can keep forever and watch whenever I want and reminisce about the amazing people and memories that I've made.
I woke up this morning and I was super nostalgic and thinking about the past. So I decided to sit down and watch Spider-Man Homecoming just to kind of be in my feels, you know. And this shot that we did, that I'll show you now, is hands down the coolest shot I've ever done in my life. I think the summer of making Spider-Man Homecoming, was the best summer of my life.
And we're actually shooting in the stage that I did my audition. So it's like a really weird full circle story of like walking through the same door I walked through as an 18-year-old kid, like nervous, like, oh my God, I hope I get this job. And then walking through the door at 24, making the third movie.
From the personality patterns I saw pop up over and over again in today's video, an EP personality type that uses extroverted intuition, introverted feeling, extroverted thinking, and introverted sensing. The fingerprint match that makes the most sense to me is that Tom Holland's probably an ENFP personality type. If you guys want to see some extra clips, extra analysis, and research that had to get cut out of today's video, as well as some super in-depth videos that can help you type more accurately and thoughtfully in your everyday practical life, I welcome you to check out the Patreon link down below in the description. Hours of bonus content waiting for you there. You are the change maker of your own life. Let's think more deeply. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace. Bye.